What's up, and welcome back to Naptime Builder. We're working on the 55 still, y'all. I've got this. I don't know, man. Ever since I got it, I've got excited about it. I finally got it in the shop, and I just had to tear into it. We kind of forgot about the Jeep for a little while. Okay, we'll get back on it eventually, but right now, this is what's the 55's got my heart right now, man. I mean, we just got to keep working on it. If you watched the last video, this is what we worked on. Last video, we got the the coilovers on. Adjustable mounts to the rear end. Upper bar here mounts, coilovers are in. Everything's all tightened up and good and all that. Then we coated her down with some reforming seal. After that dried, we went ahead and hit her with that black tractor paint. She's looking pretty good. So now we got to move on to the bed. I don't know why, but I decided to start at the back and work my way to the front. We're working on the bed now, okay? And she's in rough shape. I'm in bad shape. She's in rough shape, I don't know. We're like kindred spirits over here, okay? There she is. And down here we got some separation. Want to go through, weld all that back together. This thing is covered in surface rust. We got a few dings here and there. Hopefully we can straighten out some things, but she ain't gonna be perfect either way. It's like an old antenna thing. See right in there, we got separation and everything. All that movement. It's rough. On that front panel is absolutely terrible, completely rusted. It don't even have the lip no more for the wood. And it's also bowed out forward, if you can see how that's rough. Over here, kind of like the passenger side. We're rusted through on some of them spots down through there. Back here, we'll have to bring it back in. Looks like she's had some Bondo work once upon a time. But yeah, there's a good look at that front. She's rough. And I'm over here running over stuff. But we would have made it work. But LMC was running a 13% sale. I mean, less than $200. I got the whole front header piece, so I mean, it'll help me out. Save me a little bit of work anyways, and I'm sure that brand new one looks a whole lot better than, what I would have ended up doing. So let's check that thing out. Get stuff out the way. There she is, look at that. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have made mine look that good. Oh yeah. All right, and I don't have much more time this morning because I'm sure the kids are probably about ready to wake up. But I am gonna try to get that mount off there and get these three pieces separated before the kids wake up. And then, because if I'm being honest, it's only been about an hour or so since we finished that video. But I figured I'd at least get this beginning out and go ahead and get it started. We're gonna try to get that mount off. It'd be nice to be able to get these three pieces separated before having to go in, get the kids up and dressed and feed them some breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what we can do here. We got her fully apart. This right here will be the front lip on the driver's side that new panel will attach to. Up here, the holes, I'll have to, obviously before we get to that point, we'll have to Do a whole lot of work to these sides. But we also got this and all. Nope, wrong end. Doofus. This up here will have to get a little bit of work done to it. Have to weld in a little piece, that way we can get the other bolt hole in, or the other hole and everything. But honestly, that's probably all I'm gonna be able to get done this morning. It's about time for the kids to get up if they ain't already. I gotta check my messages. And then maybe this evening they take a nap. I'll come out. I might just be better off going ahead and get me some sanding disc and just go over this whole thing, trying to knock it all the paint and rust and everything off of it that I can. That way when I go to weld, I have a lot better surfaces and all of that. It's nap time. Just laid them down a few minutes ago. And man, his bedside's a little rough. But I guess what we're gonna do, I'm gonna see what grit sanding paper I got. But if I don't have anything strong enough, then I might just take a sanding disc on the angle grinder there. Running low on those too though, I need to order some. There's still a little bit of here and there. Honestly, some of that would come off with a good wipe down and everything, but just gives us a little better idea of what we're working with. Like, I'm gonna have to weld this right here together after the backside's cleaned up too, to get that back right. Maybe have to do a little patching here and there. I'll definitely have to do a little patching on these rails on the side that hold the wood. A little straightening up, maybe a little hammering and dollying it right there. She's broke too. Right up here it was messed up. All up in there it's still a little bowed. It's not as straight. Well, it's a lot straighter than it was, but I was playing around with this clamp here to see if I could get that held to where she needs to be. Because after we sand it down, I'll obviously have to do it too. So I was kind of just trying to get an idea of what I can do to hopefully get that back to the way it needs. So I probably really won't get anything else done today. I might just need to do a little cleanup. Then tomorrow, after we get our schoolwork done, I'm gonna let them go to Nana and Papa's because they've been missing them. And then I get to work on this. And hopefully I can find some stuff around here to help me get this cleaned up while I'm waiting on the sanding disc, you know? What's up and good morning. So we did the schooling this morning, got the kids over to Nana and Papa's. And had to make a run to Home Depot. Yesterday I bought a DA 6-inch. I wasn't exactly sure what kind of paper it took. Apparently it takes the sticky kind. And so I didn't buy none then. And I was under the impression I had enough, and obviously we talked yesterday I didn't, you know, after I got back. But so I ordered some, but it won't be here till tomorrow. I need to make progress today. So I went back to Home Depot, got some sanding paper, even though I didn't like their price compared to what I paid on Amazon, of course. And yeah. So we're probably gonna try that today. I'm gonna have to let my tank over here, or my compressor, build up. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna use my last sanding pads on my angle grinder and everything. I didn't completely pay attention to this. As crusty as that is, I just see I'm just missing the top lip there. So we may possibly try to make this panel right here and then make us a lip for that right there. Then we'll have to do some patching down through there too. You know, we just wing it and try it. So obviously I won't take this off until I feel like I've made a panel that'll work. So otherwise I'd just be messing myself up. We're gonna try our best, that's all we can do. So I'm no fabricator or whatever. I'll try to do about anything, but it don't always turn out the best, okay? So like I said, I'm gonna do that while that's building up, and then I'll break out the DA and hopefully get this knocked out pretty good. Hopefully that goes kind of quicker. Also, if you know anything about these, if you ever had one, the bolts here that go through for the fenders, they don't look welded in to me. But the ones on the other fender are good, okay? The ones on the other fender are good. This one has a couple that are broke and messed up. I would almost rather just take them out if that's the case and replace with some bolts, you know? So, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get to it. Let's go. Boy, it is dusty up in here. But she's not all the way down to bare metal, but she's down a whole lot further than she was. Man, even that 40 grit on that DA, it just ain't eating through it like them sanding disc on that gum angle grinder was. But I'm also afraid they put a little too much heat into it and all that too, but you know, you do what you gotta do. But I was able to get them bolts out also. I had to grind the back of them down and then tap them through with a body hammer. Here what we got. Got all of our bolts out. I've got some bolts I'm gonna use mostly to get rid of them because I don't like them. But she's down a whole lot. It needs to be taken down a little bit far, or a little bit further, obviously. But I'm kind of taking a break from the sanding at the moment, giving that air compressor a few minutes to chill. Give my tools a few minutes to cool off. I'm thinking, do I want to start trying to bend one of them up? Or do I want to try to piece this together, pinch that together and tack it? Probably have to do some hammering on it too. That one's a little rough. There's a big old dent there. There was a lot of body filler right in here, but I mean, that's raised up. So, I think it was mostly for that right there. This bed is not going to be perfect, I'm sorry, but it's just not going to be. But we'll do what we can with it. Right there needs to be brought in. Also, it's almost like something hit the top of these really hard on both ends and bowed them in and broke all that. Or well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so these right here drive me crazy just looking at them. So I think we're gonna start off with this. And I want to pinch this down so it comes in contact with that plate back there, or the piece back there behind it. But it's very hard to get in there to clean that up any better than I already got it. So I think I'm gonna drill like, I don't know, 2 or 3 holes here if I can. That way when I pinch this together, that I can weld them 2 or 3 holes. Hopefully that'll hold. Yeah, no, hopefully. Does that whole thing need to come down? How does that meet up on the other end? I mean, it's kind of what it looks like. And that's a lot. All right, so just with some tapping with a hammer, that is so much closer. So I'm gonna try to pinch this together. We'll weld along it right there, tying that back together to the stake pocket there. Pinch this down, try to weld that to the inside of the stake here. And then if that all works out well for us, we'll pinch this together. Hopefully that comes together when we pinch the rest of it together. And we'll try to tack that in too. All right, y'all. So, still need some cleaning up. It'll need a little putty or something to help smooth it out, make it look better. But it is all tied back together now and looks a lot better than it did anyways, okay? We're looking at improvement, not perfect, okay? Just remember that. Well, here's what we got. I still got to get in here to try to ground them down. That's where I did them 4 or 5 holes and tied it to the inside of the pocket. But she is all tied together. Ooh, back out. Like I said, still needs a lot more cleanup. I did end up having to cut a little piece and put back here and weld in. That's where you see me drilling new holes here and everything. But all this is tied back together. I'll grind it down some more, and if I need to, I'll tack a couple more spots. All right, we got this one tied all together now. She's still ugly too, still needs a lot of work, but she's all one piece. That is, them stake pockets up there are 100 times better than they was. Now I believe we're gonna try to work on patching these spots and these lips, because this is where my runners that run across and tie to the other side of the bed and that tie to the frame, it's where they are. So I'll go down through here and straighten this out a little better. Cut out the ugliness. Probably just put a plate over top of it or under it, to be quite honest with you, in these spots. And then after, when we start putting it back together and everything, I'll have to drill my holes. All right, so I went down through here in these crusty spots. I went ahead and just cut them out. Squared the spots up a little bit, cleaned them up some. So I need a little bit right there. I'm saving that for last. All right, so right here I made some little pieces. Thinking about doing it this way. Obviously I have to scoot it over here. My sawhorse is in the way on that one. Anyways, doing it that way. I can weld it around in there, tag it on the bottom, weld it on the back. I mean, the other side that you'll see, the back side of this is on the inside of the fender well. It'll be hidden by the tires and everything. So, not that worried about all that. I would rather that than seeing the lip of these up above my wood once I get wood in there. So I believe that's how we're gonna do it. Sorry to anybody who thought this was gonna be a SEMA build or anything, but got my little patches welded in. They're ugly, yeah, I know. But this is on the bottom side, and the little part that lips up on the back will be hidden inside the wheel well. It'll be all right. And this ugliness up here will be hidden by wood. So it'll be all right. That's not ground down yet, so. And I think I have decided, oh, also, we welded that in. She don't move no more, you know? But I think I have decided not to make this panel. I'm gonna make a lip from about here all the way down for this top part, and we'll cut away this nastiness there and make us a lip for this. Put them 2 lips together, weld them together like it's supposed to be. Yeah, no. Hopefully hide some ugliness, because I'm no master fabricator or nothing. So whatever ugliness there is, hopefully we can hide it and, you know, one day get her back on the road and still looking kind of cool, whatever. All right, I got like an hour left, so we're gonna see how much more we can get done, but these are my 2 little pieces I made. They don't look the best, but, you know, that will fit along, kind of like that. I kind of did as small of a lip as I could, that way my wood would hide it when we throw her in there. And that'll come out. And we'll weld this down here to the bottom one and tie them together. Pieces along here. I'll clean that up some more up there. That's what'll be, well, it won't be seen because of the wood, but I'll clean that up some more just in case, of course. Down here, I still got to clean that up some more too, but it's good. It's all structural. Holds are steel. But this side of the bed is so much closer than it was. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I know it don't seem like it, but my back was killing me a while ago from all the bending over and all that stuff. So I laid on the creeper for about 10, 15 minutes just to straighten out, you know what I'm saying? Wife walked in, I was about out. To be quite honest with you. Probably good thing she walked in, otherwise I might have still been laying there. But I'll be back out here tomorrow. Hopefully finish up on this bedside and then start the other. That's what we're hoping. All right, y'all, next morning. I came out a couple hours early this morning before the kids woke up. Then we went in, did some schoolwork, let them go to Nana's and Papa's. Figured we'd let them get some time with them before we leave tomorrow. So, going on vacation tomorrow to Kentucky. Gonna go see the Ark. So, hopefully that's all fun and cool and learn some new stuff. But anyways, I've done a little bit of welding, did a little bit of cleaning up, did a little bit more welding. She looks like hot garbage. But you know, she's a whole lot sturdier than she was. And less holes. So that's a plus too, you know? We ain't looking for perfection. I'm looking for function, okay? So here's what we got. So look at her. Look at her. She all nice and stiff now. That's all hot garbage. Needs to be cleaned up real good. Filled in them holes. Went ahead and did some tacks up and down this stake support here. It still needs to be cleaned up. Up there, did some more. Still needs to be cleaned up. Our patches, cleaned them up a little bit more. They're gonna be what they'll be. This tacked in, or filled in a couple holes. Still needs to be ground down. Did a little tacking on that stake pocket to help hold that down. A little bit up there. Looks terrible, but she's holding. Also, what was it, right here? Yeah, right here. I put a, this was a big open spot from here to here. I put a plate probably down to about here. Welded that in, boxed that back off. That's all good. That's what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna set this off to the side and start worrying about them. I'll be honest with you, I ain't got no Bondo. I might have a little bit short strand fiberglass, but I'm not exactly sure on that. There's not a whole lot of body work's gonna go into this, okay? If there's some decent sized spots, I might throw a little short strand fiberglass in there and try to get it smoothed out as best I can with what I got. And then other than that, I'm probably gonna coat this down with that Reform and Seal also, because there was a whole lot of surface rust. I get all this off, I'm probably gonna coat her down because I don't want this thing to rust. And after that, of course, it still gets primer and paint after that. So, and if anything, the Reform and Seal can also fill in some gaps, you know. Hey, low budget, okay? Already got the stuff, I might as well use it. But yeah, I guess that's probably what we're about to do. All right, so here's what we're looking at. There's the front one. These are the two center ones. And this is the one for the back. Well, this side's pretty straight, but this side is caved in. And that's just the right size for a 2x4. And of course I grabbed the shortest 2x4 I have. So, I grabbed a longer one. I'm gonna try hammering it through. Well, I'm gonna take them bolts out first before I go any further. I'm gonna take them bolts out there in the center. Look like tag bolts, I'd say. Get that piece of wood out. And I'm gonna try to hammer that one through. Hopefully I can bring a lot of that out anyways. Get it a lot closer. It's just real tight. Like, that's as far as I can fit my fingers in there. Good news is, that's a lot straighter than she was. There's still a big old dent right there, but it's definitely brought it out a good bit. Bad news is, my small piece of wood I started out with is stuck. I was using something, trying to hammer it back out, and it buried up in the wood, and I kept hammering, you know. And so that's in there too. I had to cut them and still had to hammer it long one out after it got about right here. The end of it got about right here though. It was all right. I pulled it to get that dent out and it just ain't working. There's no real way for me to hit the inside of that and draw it out. So I think what we're gonna do, them little slats that I cut to take pressure off, I'm gonna pinch them back together, weld them back together. That way we got our true form, our true shapes, at least in them areas. And then I'm gonna cut out a section of that side where that's dented, weld a piece back in. All right, so I cut her out and put a panel in. She still ain't perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. We're gonna let that cool off for a little bit, and then I'll go back and finish up welding around it. But right now, I guess I'm gonna take a grinding wheel to all this mess. Try to clean these up. All right, so I got my panel in, smoothed her out. She's still a little bent right there. Maybe I can put some pressure on that and get that back out just a little bit, but it's still 100 times better than it was. I'll do what I can, okay? I have ground these down. They still look rough, but they still need to be wiped off and all that. So after wiping these off and attempting to bend that out just a little bit, those will be ready for our reform and seal. All right, y'all, change of plans. I'm about to have to run to town. I got a hit on a Crown Vic front subframe for a good price. I got to go look at it, you know. So, we'll catch back up here. Hopefully we'll catch back up today, here shortly. If not, then it'll be after I get back from vacation. So, catch y'all then. Well, me and the grocery toter is toting more than groceries today. Y'all, I'm back from getting that Crown Vic front end. And I got, what time is it? Not even, right at an hour. Not even an hour. Thinking about trying to get these coated down. I don't know how far I'll get. But you don't know till you try. I was going to hold off for the end of this video until after vacation. But I don't want to go on vacation and then come back and finish up a video. And plus, I wasn't planning on doing these rails and everything. In this video, I was just going to work on bed sides. Also, I didn't plan on going to get a Crown Vic front end today. But you know, it worked out like it. Worked out in my favor. Sold an old Ford tailgate for $200. Bought a Crown Vic front end whole swap for $250. Can't beat it. This is what we got. This is where we end in this. I have coated this stuff on thick. It's on one side of the stuff. Next video, we will flip it over, do the other side, and then work on the other side of the bed. But this is what we got. Like I said, she's coated on thick. Did it with a brush. Not all of it's dry, obviously, because that stuff is flat black when it's dry. But she's in there. She's on there. Shoved it in every little crevice on this side of it that we can get it. I mean, that looks better than that, right? I mean, improvement. A lot. And it's not falling apart now like it was. But that's what we got. Look, barely even seem a little patch. You can see a little, it'll be all right. That's where the tag goes anyways. And then got them coated up. Like I said, not all the way dry, still a little shiny. But that is 1,000,000 times better than they was. Hope y'all are liking the progress on the 55. I know I am. I'm excited every time I come out here in the shop right now. I just hope this momentum keeps going because I feel like we're making good progress in a good amount of time. I had a dude tell me earlier when I showed him a picture of the Crown Vic front end. He's like, man, you work quicker than the shop that has my truck. So, you know, it's whatever. So, with that, thanks for watching. So appreciate it. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell where you get notified. We'll catch y'all later.